I've never filmed a video before, but I thought if I was going to start, this would probably be the video to start with. So I have dropped out of college for the second time. So for those that don't know, I started college right after I graduated, senior year. So I started fall 2015 at the University of Minnesota-Morris, and it was truly my dream school. It was a really small school in a small town, and I loved that atmosphere. It was a very liberal campus, so they kind of celebrated everyone and everything, and I thought that was great. I got involved with the Newman Center, which was right off campus, like the Catholic kind of club, and I would go there several times a week and hang out with friends and just talk, and it was worship, and that was great. And I got really involved with Lutheran campus ministries, and I really was loving it, and I was having a really good time. And then the second semester came along, and I've dealt with anxiety most of my life. I was diagnosed with it when I was 15, and put on medication right before I turned 16. So I had kind of been dealing with it for a long time. I had been hospitalized once for it, and I had done an 8-week intensive program my senior year of high school. So I did most of senior year kind of independent study on my own. And so I thought I was okay. I thought I was going to be good for college and make it. But second semester kind of rolled around, and I was having a really rough time. It was hard for me to go to class. It was hard for me to hang out with my friends. I didn't really do much like I had done the previous semester, where we had, just done a lot of things like road trips and movie nights, and I just wasn't able to do that anymore. But I thought, I just need a break. I just need to go home for the summer and I'll be fine. So I went home for the summer and I worked as a nanny for a wonderful girl named Lily, and I loved her so much, and I loved my job, and it was just an amazing experience. And I kind of pushed to the back of my head that I wasn't doing great. I was just so busy and had a schedule, so I could kind of ignore the fact that I was a little more anxious and a little more depressed and wasn't really handling my mental health very well, and wasn't really giving myself good self-care and self-love. So then I went back for my sophomore year. In sophomore year, I decided to live off campus in the Lutheran campus ministry house called the Christus House. And I lived there, and I had some amazing roommates, Michelle in particular, and that was just a great thing to have her there and have a good friend. And my best friend Bree decided to go to the school with me. Not like I wasn't the deciding factor, but it was really cool to have her there. But I barely made it to class at all. I think I went maybe 3 or 4 times to any of my classes, and that might be being generous. I just couldn't make it to any of my classes. My parents had to come up multiple times, and I was just really struggling. And one day I kind of texted my mom, and I was just like texting her. My mom texted back and said, I'm driving up right now. You don't sound like you're in a safe place. So we're going to go to the ER as soon as I get there. And so we did. And I was feeling suicidal. I hadn't been sleeping through the night in, I think, 3 or 4 months. I hadn't slept through the night, and so I was just really low on sleep. So they gave me some meds for sleeping, which was really nice. And so I was able to sleep, and so my parents kind of switched off. My dad came up, and he took me to one of my classes, and he took me to therapy, and he was really there for me and helping me out. And then day he was gonna leave. And I remember this night really vividly. I remember just walking around campus because I just had to do something. I was really restless, so I just walked around campus about 8 p.m. ish, and I've been walking around for a while, and I remember getting back to the house and looking up at my window and just kind of thinking, you know, this is it. This, you can either, I heard God kind of say to me, you know, you can either go upstairs and this will be your last day on earth, or you can call someone and get help and live out the rest of your life the way I have planned. And it really was a very hard decision to make. I kind of sat there for a while just crying, not really knowing what to do. I didn't want to keep putting my family and friends through this. I didn't want to keep being a burden on them. I didn't want to have them keep worrying about me and helping me. But I also knew that it would be really hard on them if I did this, and that it would devastate my family. And so it was a very hard decision, you know, because living life with agoraphobia is challenging, and every day is a struggle. You know, I have to go through each day, like, open my eyes, okay, that's one win today. Get out of bed, that's another win. You know, so I go by life step by step, and that can be really draining and really, really hard. And so that moment was very tough for me to make a decision. I didn't really know what to do. And I just kind of kept sitting there and kept praying about it. And I was like, you know, God sent me here for a reason, and I need to fulfill that, you know. But I knew that if I would go in my room, I wouldn't come out. That would be the end for me. And so I called my best friend, and she didn't really answer. She didn't answer. But then she kind of called back like a minute later, and she's like, hey, I'm in class right now. Are you okay? And I remember I couldn't even talk. I was just sobbing. And she says, okay, walk to the Newman Center and I will be there as soon as I possibly can. And so I was walking there, and she said, you know, stay on the phone so I can make sure you're safe, and you don't have to talk, but I just need to know you're safe. And so that was kind of it. You know, she spent the night with me. She kind of made sure I was okay. She helped me talk to my dad. You know, that was great. And I mean, I'm so grateful for her for that moment. And her being there for me. And I don't know how I can repay her, but that was something that was so meaningful to me to have her there. So anyway, yeah, so that night I talked with my dad, and I decided to leave Morris halfway through the first semester, and I went home and I worked on myself a lot. I was doing a lot of different kinds of therapies. I was doing a transition program, and then I did talk therapy about once a week that I was doing, and I had 2 jobs, and I was really working on myself, and I was like, okay, I'm out of college, I gotta apply to get to a different college that's closer to home, that's more faith-based, and so I applied to 10 schools, I think, and I chose to go to Bethel, and I did. I went to Bethel, and it was not an easy year, my sophomore year of college, having taken a whole year off, coming back. It wasn't easy at all, but the environment was great. I made amazing friends, and I had amazing roommates, and being close to home was really a blessing, because I kind of come home as often as I wanted, and that was really great. but it was still really hard, and I really was working on myself. Still, I was trying to do therapy once a week, and I was really trying to kind of get better, make sure my anxiety didn't get in the way too much. So I was doing good. Spring semester was hard, but like the second half of the semester, the first half actually went really well. There was a guy, and I think having someone to look forward to seeing really helped me get to class and overcome my anxiety. Being able to kind of be like, okay, you get to see him today, Quinn, like you get to talk to him today, you know, and your anxiety always goes away when you talk to him or when you hang out with him, so go to class, and then that will help. And so that was really nice, having him and having that relationship. It was amazing. He made a pretty big mistake, and we had to end the relationship. And I took that really hard. I felt really foolish for kind of giving my heart to someone, and then I also felt bad for him because it was just such a tricky situation, and so I felt bad for him for the situation he was in and how he felt. So I was missing a lot of class, and my anxiety was bad, my depression was really bad, and I hadn't really had issues in my depression for a couple of years, and so it was kind of frustrating me that I seemed to be going backwards a little bit, but I was looking forward to the summer. I was going to Summer Institute of Linguistics at University of North Dakota, and I was really excited. So I kind of just powered through. A week after school ended, I moved up to North Dakota for 2 months. That was a challenge. One of the hardest things I've ever gone through. It was mentally just so exhausting, and I got anxious a lot and got depressed, and I missed out on a lot. You know, I made great friends, but I could have made a lot more, and I could have participated in more experiences, but it was just really hard for me because of my anxiety, and I just didn't have as much time for myself as I needed. So kind of the more fun time or the going out time that my friends had, I was using to recuperate and recover. But I did finish the summer, and I was so happy, so happy. And then 3 weeks later, I went back to Bethel, and I moved in with a girl who at the time was my friend. I was very hesitant to start the year just because knowing her, she could be very negative, and she didn't like to see good in people, and she only seemed to see the bad in people, where I'm kind of the opposite. I always see the good in people, so it was just hard being around that negativity all the time, and it kind of came to a head, and I ended up moving out and moving on my own to a studio apartment, just right next door, dorm right next door. And so I did that, and that was going pretty good. It was actually pretty good, but I had a lot of anxiety, and I had to drop 2 classes, so I was only taking 7 credits by the end, and that was just really frustrating because I felt like, why can't I do what everyone else can do? You know, most of my friends can take 15, some are taking up to 19 credits, and they're doing just fine, and they're having bad days, but they're not missing a bunch of class, and they're not having to hide in the room and cancel plans all the time, and they can do this. And I just was having so much trouble making it through and doing college, and kind of at that point, it kind of began to kind of percolate my mind that maybe college wasn't the path that God had in mind for me, that maybe there were other ways for me to live a fulfilling life beside getting a degree. But I didn't really want to think about that because my whole life I've been, I was like this girl who got good grades in school, and I was a goody two-shoes and teacher's pet and all that. And so it was just really hard for me to wrap my mind around maybe college isn't for me. So winter break was really hard. I was very anxious and depressed most of winter break. I came back for J term and I just worked the whole J term. I didn't see any of my friends. It was very lonely. And then I started second semester. And that was hard. I didn't feel much energy and I didn't feel very motivated. And it was really hard. Really hard. And I just kind of felt from the beginning that my teachers weren't really on my side, that they're kind of expecting me to fail, just because I told them I had a disability, and that was really hard. So this past Wednesday, me and my dad made the decision to leave Bethel. And focus on taking care of me. So for the second time, I'll be leaving school. And this time I don't know if I'll go back. I'm really beginning to think that maybe college isn't in the cards for me, a college degree at least. My goal in life is to help people. And I think I can do that without a college degree. And there are many ways I can do that. I just want to bring a smile to someone's face and make them feel loved. And I'll find a way to do that. That'll be satisfying to me. And hopefully I'll make money at it. And hopefully it'll be good. So, yeah. Yeah, so that's where I am right now. I'm still kind of wrapping my head around it and kind of what this means for the future. I've already gone to the doctor and got my meds kind of changed and I'm looking at therapists and things like that. So it's going to be it's going to be very tough for a long time. But God gave me this journey for a reason. He put me here for a reason, and he gave me this challenge for a reason, and I'm still trying to figure out what that reason is, but I know that eventually he'll tell me in his own way. So